What's going on, you guys? Today I'm going to show you guys how to make Game Boy cartridge sleeves. These Game Boys I'm talking about to you guys look more like this. These are Game Boys. These are for the people who don't know, like the younger kids about 10 years old. Some people get mixed up with the Game Boy Advance, of course, but... So, I'm going to give you guys something. I know there's a lot of professional Game Boy sleeves that are made professionally, where you can get them done, or professionally where you can buy them. You know, like everybody knows that. God, this is hard to get out. Okay, everybody knows these sleeves. You know, with the Game Boy. Of course, you saw one like it. Of course, you saw them with the original Tetris and the Game Boy. And you can get them professionally done, like I said. But why would you want to spend that much money to get these games at sleeves made and all that stuff, where you can get them done at home by just using construction paper, glue, and scissors and a pencil? So let me show you guys how to get that done. So let's use a game as a reference. Let's try Battletoads. It can be any construction paper you guys would prefer. Or it doesn't have to be construction paper. It could be computer paper or index cards paper, any paper. But I like construction paper because it has a lot of colors. So this is construction paper. Now this is the sleeve I made earlier. You know, has a decent length to it. So let me show you guys how to make that. What you're going to need is you're going to need the Game Boy game, of course. That's the first thing you're going to need. You're going to need a little pencil. What you're going to also need is a ruler, of course, and some scissors, and some glue. So, I'll put this aside. So, here's the game itself. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to trace the game that you have laid out on the construction paper. You're going to want to trace it. Now, the way I'm going to show you guys how to make the sleeves is do them half length of the cartridge. Because if you make a sleeve like the NES, how they have them, you know, the typical half-cut sleeve, you know, that's on the top, where you have like the, you know, the loop that goes down like these. I have many of these. You know, ones like these. You know, ones like these. I mean, you could make them for the Game Boy, but you're not going to really see them well. You know? Or you're not going to really see the game well, is what I'm saying. You know, you want the sleeve to have the game visible. You know? The NES one is different because the cartridge is bigger. So, but you could do that if you want, you know. There is probably a special method. So I got the line drawn right here. And this is so far a square. This is half of the Game Boy cartridge that I drew. You're going to make sure it's half. You're going to even this out with a ruler, which is where you're going to set with. You're going to have it set on top, at the top of the sleeve. You can evenly draw that. So, this is what it should look like so far. Just a box, same size as the Game Boy, of course. See how it fits, you know, with the sleeve. Next is your flaps. You're gonna want to draw your flaps. So the flaps can be, let's see, about a quarter. So, for you little kids who don't know how to measure, about on an inches ruler. But on an inches ruler, you're gonna make sure. Oh, you can't see it. Well, basically to show you finger-wise, you can't, because I have a darker ruler. You know, like, want to make it at least that big, the flap you're gonna draw. But it could be it could be any length you would want it. You know, as long as it's not big. You know, so you're gonna draw the flap with the ruler. And then you're gonna do that with the bottom. You're gonna do that. Do the bottom flap. Then you're gonna cut it, of course. And you do the other side. So do that for 3 parts, for 3 corners. It should look like this. See how you don't need computer software or anything to do it? You just need a ruler and some paper and a pencil. So next is what you're going to do is you're going to cut it. Is what you're going to do. So, a pair of scissors. Make sure you cut it. And first, what I would personally do is for it to hold. I wouldn't really make flaps for this because it won't really hold well because they're small pieces of paper and they're not going to really make the flap as holdable as it is. It's, you know, it's not going to really work. It's going to fall apart. So you're going to want to make a easy flap like this. Then next is you're going to fold it. You're going to fold this flap. You're going to fold the edges on this. So you got one folded, and what you're going to do is you're going to trace it. You're going to trace it on the paper. Okay. Okay. That off done. So you got it traced on the paper. And you're going to need a ruler to straighten out the lines, of course, because there's going to be a little bit of uneven lines, of course. Basically, the flap was basically to get an idea of the shape. That way you can work with it. You know, that way you can draw a more even line while you can have that way you can have an even cut. You know? And once you do that, you're going to cut it. So, cutting time. That's what you're going to want. Okay. You know, cut the There's one side of your flap. This is the back. So you're going to take the one you did before. See it? With the one you made. And you don't even have to draw guidelines for this one. All you pretty much need is the first flap to begin with. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the two flaps together, set them, you're going to fold them. You're going to fold both at the same time. You're going to fold the one you did before again. That way it'll fold the one you just did. Fold the flaps. So then you're going to pretty much, you got your two flaps, of course. What they're going to do is the flaps should be facing like this instead of this. If you get them like this, they're going to form a sleeve. So, of course you're going to glue those two. You know, of course. You know, you that part you guys, of course, know. And you're going to, you know, put a little small, I'm going to just show you guys, you know, just to save time, of course, because my laptop doesn't hold much memory. You're going to at least put that much amount of glue on it. At least. Then you're going to rub it, you know, onto the flap. You know, make sure you keep doing this. Make sure you put like a thin layer of glue and then wipe it on the sleeve. That way you have an even correlation. You're going to have them touch. And you don't even need to put glue on the other flap, you know, because it's going to hold, you know. You got one done. Now you may need the game as a guide, so you could form the edges correctly. You know. And Game Boy, I gotta tell you, was an awesome system. Really good system. I gotta tell you, they don't make them like that anymore. But here's your sleeve that you have. It should look like this. You know, you got two together. And your game should hold like that. Well, this is the one I had before, but this is the one I just did. It should hold like that. So, here's your dust sleeve for the Game Boy. So all I gotta say is, thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys learned from the video.